This is going to be a wing kind of session. I had a lot of black belts come up to me and came up to me and it said, instead of talking about Bruce Lee, can you show us how to strategically or tactically fight a couple of different types of fighters? Like, I'm a little guy. I don't know how to fight a tall guy. Can you show us how you would fight a tall person? And somebody else said, I have problems with my speed. Can you show me, if I'm fighting somebody real fast, how to make it easier for me to bridge that gap between me and a faster opponent? So what I want to do is, I want to go specifically with questions. You got something very specific that you think would pertain, hopefully I can answer it, that you would like to ask me about, where we can kind of make this more of a discussion, kind of a semi, what do you call it, a wing, kind of a seminar. I can take it that way. Is that okay with everybody? So, go into your heads, think about, okay, what is it I would like to ask Joe? Let me see if I can put him on the spot or something. And let's take it in that direction. Is that okay with everybody? Just real fast. Let me get this out of the way. I'm not a peddler, but it's the first book I've written in 41 years in the martial arts. I was very good at taking fighting principles and conceptualizing them, taking things from the abstract plane, putting them into a nice point. This is a real good manual, especially for you black belts or instructors who are teaching material. A lot of what I got from Bruce Lee, fighting principles, how to use movement against a particular type of opponent or different angles of attack. It's in that particular book. It's hard for me to explain what's in that book in 1 hour. So there's about 15 people there that got a copy of that. You can grab one of those people, look through it. If you're interested in getting a copy, you can see us over there or check with Rob here at the end. Somebody want to hit me with a question here real fast so we can sort of get real. Not hit me with it, but just, yeah. Okay, yeah. I've been hit so many times, and you get leftovers anyway.
Very solid, but not very fast leg.
Yes.
Yep. How do I deal with that? People with fast.
Okay. Did everybody hear what he said? You didn't hear what he said. I heard it, but I don't damn understand it.
Yeah, maybe that's what
That's.
Sweetie, what? A kicker with good footwork, Joe?
No. Let me tell you. Doesn't mean I'm going to answer the question. I've got good strong legs. I've got a good solid base, which is sort of a foundation of a lot of the Chinese styles. Okay. You don't see a tremendous amount of footwork in many of the Chinese styles. I used to make jokes saying most of that stuff came from the guys who worked in fishing boats, and you stood in a certain way to keep the boat balanced, so you're not going to see people doing jump, turn, spin kicks. And when you get our age, you ain't going to be doing that junk anyway, And if you think about the human being, the human species was not designed to be kicker anyway. We learned to work with our hands. Little babies start playing with their hands, and it's easy to tie your shoes with the hands, but it's real hard to tie them with the feet. So I'm not trying to put kicking down and compare one to the other, but just between you and me, a good puncher will be a good kicker any day, hands down, 100 times out of 100 times. Follow me? And if anybody wants to challenge me on that, go for it. But so think about that, number one. Let me use you for a second. Are you awake yet?
Yes, sir.
Can I hit him for you guys? You don't mind? Anybody that doesn't want me to hit my good friend, Mr. Buck, and put your hand up. Anybody doesn't want me to. Thank you. What do I want to start on? Let me try to come at what we're doing. Number one, you see the best fighters in the world today. Okay, and everybody's got their opinion who's the best. Right. When you punch, notice at the end of a punching combination that both feet are on the ground. Therefore, I've got good balance. When I've got good balance, both feet on the ground, it's easy to execute a kick. Okay? In other words, after a punching combination, it's easy to close the door, finish the combination off with a kick. That's the way you find most logical fighters competing today or actually fighting for real. Okay? Number two, if you come in with a kick and try to follow through the punch, it's harder to go from a kick to a punch than it is to go from a punch to a kick. Why? Because at the end of a punch, both feet are going to have my balance. Therefore, I can trigger a kick a lot faster than it is at the end of a kick where I'm on one foot to throw a punch from just one foot. Follow me? Before I can punch, I have to put the foot back down and then squeeze the trigger. So therefore, I try to train my guys. Learn to do both. But you're going to find it a lot easier being able to go from a punching combination to a kicking combination. Does that make sense, everybody? All right, so just because I have stiff legs, weak legs, stocky legs, or slow legs, doesn't mean I have to be a kicker. If I'm up against a kicker, face it. If I'm up against somebody kicking, I'm not going to stay out here and have you kick me, don't throw a kick at me, ball, back, reposition, and then I try to kick at you. Your turn, my turn. Your turn, my turn. That's where you see most people sparring. And I call that accommodation sparring. I'm accommodating the kicker by giving you the range that you want. Now watch this in simple language. Stick your leg up here and let me just hold your leg. Do you really need to hold on to me? When a guy kicks, okay, think about distance. There's a trap. Don't get caught between the knee and the foot. See this little zone in here? As long as I am not in this zone, you cannot hit me with a kick, and I don't care who you are. Got me? So that means every time you kick, I'm going to be outside your foot, I'm going to be inside your knee. Got it? Just like whenever a guy throws a punch, I'm going to be outside the fist, I'm going to be inside the elbow. This is a trap. Don't get caught in here. If I'm fighting a good puncher, do not fight him here. Do not fight him here. If I'm fighting a good kicker, this is where the knee is. Don't get fight him here. Don't fight him here. Don't fight him here. So that means every time he kicks, see, I'm going to give him the distance that I need, not that he needs. I'm playing my distance, not yours. Remember that. Distance is the key. The first principle you work on when you spar is learn to control the distance first. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. Then you work on the timing second. Then everything else kind of follows. Forget about speed, forget about power. Okay? Those aren't principles. Those are attributes. You can only work on principles. So now, that means every time he kicks, all I'm going to do is step a little out of range. See? Every time he kicks, I step a little out of range. So let's say Rob's trying to hit me with a side kick. So when he side kicks, I'm going to step out of range. Back reposition. You try to hit me side kick. Boom. Go. I step out of range. Back reposition. Try to hit me side kick. Boom. I step in range. See, now I'm inside the knee. Now it's my turn because we're at hand distance. Well, God didn't make my hands for punching. I guess I have to use my elbows and my headbutt, see? So whatever you want to use, go for it. Follow me? So what am I playing here? Am I playing the kicking game with this guy? Peel, mother. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? I'm playing the range game. So I'm not thinking I'm going to match your kicking speed with my kicking speed. I'm not going to match my footwork, which I don't have, with your footwork. See? But one thing I can control. I can control this range. So I don't go, oh, I'm going to kick what I want to do. Watch what Rob did when he fired a side kick. Throw the side kick again, okay? Whichever leg you want to use, which leg you want to use. All right, throw it fast, fast, fast. Notice at the end of the kick, he didn't recover. Most people kick, fell for it. No recovers. Most people, when they teach martial arts, and most instructors and especially fighters, when they're fighting, they always look at what the guy is doing. Oh God, he's a kicker. Oh God, he kicks fast. Oh God, he likes a side kick. I never look at what the guy's doing when I'm fighting. I always look for what he's not doing. You got to remember what I just said. What is he not doing? For example, let's say if I'm inside and I come in a little combination, straight right hand, 45, elbow, stop. Notice I stop with the shoulder squared up. So if I'm Rob, I'm going to say, gee, Joe doesn't finish the combination with the shoulder in front of the chin like he should be. And when Joe goes back, Joe always moves the inside foot rather than the rear foot first. And when Joe always finishes combinations, he always finishes with the shoulder squared up. See, instead of giving him an angle where he can't counter. You understand? Look for what he doesn't do. And you guys who are teaching, when you teach sparring, you can start this at a white belt level because this stuff is not easy on shoulder. And you're not going to find it written down in any karate book. Okay? But it makes sparring fun because it takes you to a higher plane. Get you off that conceptual of it. Well, God, he's a kicker. God, he's got a good reverse punch. Ooh, he's got a good side kick. Anybody can see that. Start looking for the abstract. Start thinking in principle. Okay, principle is a simple rule which helps you maximize the effectiveness of a technique. Okay, what do you mean by principle? I said underneath this tent, we have a person in a white shirt. We have a person in a black shirt. See, we have a person sitting in a chair. The principle is under this tent, we have a group of people. The group of people is a principle. Each of these individuals is an individual concept. When a guy is sparring, the technique is a simple concept. Okay, he's got a fat side kick. That's a simple concept. All right, he's got a hard side kick. That's a simple concept. Okay, but the principle is when you fire a combination or any technique, you must release and recover. In principle, he's not tactically a smart fighter because he doesn't recover after he throws a punch or doesn't recover after he throws the kick. So you discover the principle by looking not at the energy that's coming, but the energy he's not using. Yeah, the weakness is always look at a guy's energies. I always look at a guy's face. I see what he's thinking, what kind of mental energy he's got. I can look at the body. I can see if he's posing or if he's relaxed. And when I talk to a guy up close, he's either speaking from here, or he's tight and tense and scared. He's speaking from his ego because the neck is tight and the jaws are tight. And when he talks, the words come out, but there's no air coming out. When a person's confident, you'll hear the air coming out. There's two things that come out of your mouth: the wind and the words that carry the wind. The air never lies. The words will lie. Follow me? Your breathing will never lie. Your feelings will never lie. The body never lies. You can hide the fact that you're scared to death by tensing up, all right? You know what I'm saying? So always look for what the guy's not doing. And one of the secrets of teaching that, discovering that, is look for the thing that's not taught in martial arts. We don't teach people about energies anymore. Or we use that funny word, the intrinsic chi energy, blah, blah, blah. I've seen that work in healing, but I've never seen a guy stand in front of me and make it work. Okay? Put me down with that chi energy, then I believe it, probably. But there is such a thing. Now, go back to my point. So, Mr. Little, what the hell did you just say? First principle, distance. If you learn, teach, educate everybody to understand distance. At what zone, at what distance am I strongest? At what zone, at what distance am I weakest? Follow me? So as Rob finishes the side kick, see, he can follow through with a punch. So as that foot lands, boom, the hand is in there. So there's no gap between when I finish the kick and when I begin to punch. Follow me? I don't kick, boom, then punch. See the gap between the two? If I'm throwing two punches, it's boom, boom, 1, 2. As soon as one hand lands, boom, that's my cue to squeeze the second hand. I don't wait till the hand starts to come back and then say the punch in. Because now I created a gap between the two. So if I'm throwing a two punch combination without a gap, then I want a punch kick combination or a kick punch combination without the gap also. Is everybody up with me so far? Am I losing? You guys look like you got a blank look like, where the hell is this guy going? What's he on? Let me try to bring this back to a simple base. Rather than me telling you 10 things to work on, if you learn to master and control that distance, what is my zone? I don't care what kick you throw. There's only 3 types of kicks I've ever seen in my life. I know the Hapkido guy said they got 151 different kicks. Okay? I've seen low kicks. I've seen high kicks. I've seen kicks with the front leg. I've seen kicks with the rear leg. I've seen kicks that come straight at me. And I've seen kicks that come on a curved line. I've never seen more than 6 kicks in my life. If you ever see kick number 7, show it to me. So, I don't care which one of those 6 kicks you fired. Forget about the 151. I've only seen 6. I've looked a long time. I haven't found a secret yet, okay? All I got to do is when you throw one of those 6 kicks, I'm going to be inside your knee or I'm going to be outside your foot. And if you learn to master that principle, you've got about 90% of fighting down for you. Right? Then when you're in control of that, it's easier to start spotting those energies and learn how to capitalize on what he's not doing. So, am I going to hit Rob when he's firing that kick at me? See? Why waste time throwing my arm down? I'm going to break my arm against that sucker's big leg. See? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let him miss the kick. See, at the end of the kick, see, I just made him miss. I always want to be close over, I can kiss it, but not get it. See? And just tap it down. I don't have to blah, all that stuff. Just tap it. As soon as I tap it down, boom, I have a hand waiting for him, because at the end of this kick, he's going to pop his head right up there for me to caught. You understand how distance control comes in? So the principles: learn to control the distance. Right? You don't have to worry about your footwork or what you don't have. See, when I'm fighting a guy, I don't handicap myself by thinking about, okay, when he kicked, what am I going to do? Sucker, I ain't going to let you kick. I'm going to beat you to the draw. I always do this. When you're fighting, there's only two ways a fighter can look. There's only two ways you can focus. I can focus on where I'm going to hit you. See? So that means I'm always looking for an opening, or I'm looking for cover. If you think you're handicapped, now you're on the defensive right off the bat. So that goes back to the first thing all fighters must work on first. It's not technique, it's not a fighting principle. Attitude. Attitude precedes everything. You got the right attitude, sucker, you can't beat me. Number one, you ain't going to touch me. If you don't touch me, you can't hurt me. And nobody who can't touch me can hurt me or beat me. You got me? How you going to beat somebody like that? That make sense? So you put the attitude together, because it's about 6 or 7 factors that come into attitude. Okay? You got to have confidence in your strategy. You got to have the right fighting spirit. You got to have confidence in knowing that the tactic is going to work. Follow me? See, so there's a lot of aspects. You got to know how to focus in the present tense. So you got to learn all those little extra things that make up concept attitude. Then you put that together with the right principle. Because God help you. You know, maybe your body can do 3 or 4 things at once, okay? Or maybe your mind can think about 3 or 4 things at once. But you want to focus on one thing at a time and do one thing at a time. See, so I put 100% energies in one of them. Somebody said, hey, well, gee, Joe, you know, if you punch like that, look like you're open. Sucker, when I'm punching, I'm not thinking about getting hit. I'm thinking about doing the hitting. So I got 100% of my energy going into the intent of the punch. Okay? Now when I hit you, I got 3 things on mind. I heard somebody give it a class yesterday, used an interesting word, barking. We use the same term. You ever walk into a room and a dog goes bark, whoop, you always jump. Because what's that dog saying? Watch out. Back off. So when I hit you with a punch, I want to see 3 things. I want to see you kneel down. I want to see you back off. Or I want to see you stop. Don't hit me back, because that wasn't a real punch. Don't keep coming towards me, because that means that wasn't a real punch. When you throw a real punch, a real kick, 1 of 3 things happen. He stops, he backs off, or he kneels down. Does that make sense, everybody? And you got to put, see, the conviction, the emotional conviction, which is the energy emotionally, together with the proper mechanical execution. There's 2 things. And you don't just release that energy. That's what we do with guitar. Transfer the energy, go beyond release. Impact doesn't mean release. Release does not mean transfer the energy. So when you hit the guy, you throw the energy through his body. I don't know if you understand what that means, but try to think of the word transfer. Does that help a little bit, get you on the right track? Now you say how you do that, right? That's why I sell books. But you do a simple little drill. Line everybody up in class, and what I'm going to do is he's going to try to catch me in my tracks before I move. Because a lot of people do this stuff lunging. They never lunge. When you lunge, you're off balance. When you lunge, you have too much hang time at the end of a punch, kick, or a combination. We call it lingering. Okay? So when he side kicks, he's going to do everything in his power to nail me in these 2 tracks before I move out of this box. So he's going to see me in a little box. And before I get out of that box, he's going to try to nail me. I may get 1 foot out backwards or 1 foot to the side. But there's no way I'm going to move. No way is he going to let me get both feet out of that box. And then, of course, when I move, always whichever direction you move the foot, the direction you're going first, move that foot first. So if I'm going backwards, foot goes, rear foot goes first. if I move the front foot, watch, if I move the front foot first, see the body's not moving, is it? But if I move the rear foot, see the whole body moves. So I always want to move the rear foot first. See that? You got me? So, yes, sir.
Just curious where your strategy goes when you don't have the area or space or distance to working distance in like a parking lot or
Okay.
a closed-in area where you don't have.
You still go back to the point we just made. He's going to go home. He's going to write down. I'm weakest at this zone, at this distance. I'm strongest at this zone. And so a good martial artist looks for balance. And you can't become such a great kicker that you don't ever have to punch. I know people teach that, but it's stupid, you know. And it's like when the Gracies came out years ago. So all great fights end up on the street. Okay. Well, if you're a good fighter, I never have to go to. I mean, all great fights end up on the ground. Well, if you're a good fighter, you never have to go to the ground. So you can counter anything somebody throws at you. Okay? I came from a wrestling background, so of course I like the ground. My favorite moves are chokehold. My second favorite move is the bite. I like to bite the chin, the eyebrow. Because when you bite the eyebrow, the guy bleeding in his eye. Most people can see their own blood, they freak. And what's so funny? That's my, when I was 12 years old, I used to grab guys in a headlock and reach over, bite them, and take my fingers right in their head, you know. And nobody taught me. It's just natural. And I got the guys down. I got my brother down once. He got a handful of sand, put in my face. I said, "That's dirty fighting." He said, "So." You know, and so you try to add that stuff to what you know. Let me try to answer this question. Now watch. Let's say I'm a good outside puncher. So these are outside punching, okay? Boom, outside punching, outside punching. But then I get inside. Now inside punching. Inside punching means I'm close enough where my shoulder can touch his breastplate. Now, good fighters are always teach you when you get close range, keep your chin on the breastplate. See, if he puts the chin on the breastplate, how are you going to knock him out hit his chin? See, if you can pinpoint the temple, you know, some part of the neck, you might get him. But you're not going to hit him up here and do anything but bust your hand. Okay? So he's canceled out 90% of the knockout. Because the weakest part of the body is the neck. That's why when you kick a punch, I always like to go from the I'm not going to hit you. All right? You start shaving, I won't hit you, okay? Is he cute? See, women like you. I say, what is it you like, man? All right, here we go. You see him laugh? All right, I'll tell you ones who laugh later. This circuit going back to Okinawa was first. Okay, now watch. Now, when I'm inside, this is what I mean by inside punch. That means my shoulder's always against his breastplate. Now say, Mr. Lewis, how do you get somebody like that? Now what? If I pull the shoulder back, see I got the gap in here where I could come with a punch. If I see it, pull the shoulder back, I got the gap where I could come crossing elbow, rising elbow, what have you. That's it? So you got outside punching, then you have inside punching. So where am I weak? Outside, inside? Am I weak at the kicking zone, or am I weak at the trapping zone in here or on the ground? And you kind of want to work out that little gap in there. And you should have drills where you can come, typically I don't like to punch. I like to kick the legs, preferably. The weakest part of the legs is inside here. So I like to come in with a flange kick inside the shin bone, inside the knee, femoral artery. I like to go inside, then behind that, I like to come next, knee, headbutt, both elbows. That's how the sequence it should follow. Don't put the elbow before the headbutt. Okay? And don't put the headbutt before the knee. That's the sequence they should be taught. Got me? You guys want to learn a good little self-defense technique? Just grab this way, do a straight knee, crossing elbow, nose on the crossing elbow. I got this rear hand, see that little curve there? That always goes against the hairline, protected against the couch or strike. When you throw an elbow, notice both hands are open. That allows me to get more torque in the shoulder muscle. If you make fists, it makes it too tight. Ball, slide back around. Left knee, usually when I throw a knee, we protect the groin first, then come in, come back, protect the groin. Back across, boom, 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 boom. Knees, kind of a neat little drill. And then you put that at the end of a combination. So I'm out here, pop, pop, grab, knee, cross, slide out, cut. You just do a little combination, mixing into what you're doing. Does everybody understand what I'm doing? That way, I create a little drill that'll help me integrate a technique, allow me to make the transition from one zone to the next, and back out. So I can flow from one zone to the other without having that gap or that weakness. Does that make sense what I'm saying? What was your question? Come on, I got a short memory. But you understand what I'm saying?
Close range with nowhere to go. I mean, you're backed up against the ropes if you're
Okay.
in a bar or you're in a
Again, again, big guy hits hard. I don't personally want to be. I don't want to be in front of him. Usually, I teach women in self-defense when a person goes for the head, when the hands come to the head, always duck and cover up so he can't defend against you. And then from here, all I do is lift the arms up. From here, his brachial plexus is wide open, and I just spear, boom, right in the neck, boom. I don't care who you are, you just want to feel it. That'll work against anybody. No man has a tough brachial plexus. No man has a tough nose. And if all you do is hit the brachial plexus here, put him to the ground, he'll go down. You got it? I ain't in a hurry because personally, our belief as fighters is you go for the nerve, you're going to piss me off about 1 second, I'll turn on key. So I don't teach that stuff. I'll do it to distract you, to set something else up. Follow me? Is that helpful there? I'm not trying to put down another art form, it's just that I know how fighters think. And we're always trying to show you how tough. There's guys that I seen you can't choke out. Have guys lock my neck and I just know how to relax, pull the chin in, bring the triceps up, just relax and they can't choke. Some people got glass jaws, you touch them and they can start crying. So I find a zone that I'm weak and then I start working on it. So if I'm weak at this zone, I don't have the room, the space to move around, then I'm going to operate within this space. Usually if it's a harmless person, I like to grab the hair and just take the hair down because that takes them right off the balance, right off the bat, okay? I love the brachial plexus. I let it go right between this mastoid muscle and the Adam's apple, right in there. This is sort of, boom, the best spot. And once I've got that, he gets me everything else that I want, see? So I can go, see, high, boom, low, boom, back up high, real fast, and he doesn't know what's happening. Or as soon as I go low, I come back, grab the neck, get over the short elbows. Spinning elbows are extremely hard to block. If I push, I don't hit the shoulders. I resist my shoulders so I can't push you back. Resist. See, but if I go center of the chest, he goes off balance. See? So if I break the center of the chest, then go for the spinning elbow, 9 out of 10 times people have no defense against the spinning elbow. That's why a lot of the kickboxing matches, they take it out. I like that kind of stuff. I like the bike headbutt. When we headbutt, we drop the head in, push off the rear toe. See, drop it in the forehead. Toughest part of the skull, right on the hairline. I like to drop it right in the center of the face. Right. And then you go straight headbutt back to a circular headbutt. Circular headbutt, the second hardest part of your skull is, take a little baby when the baby's born, they got a little hole right about here in the head. You actually stick your finger in there. See? And that doesn't heal up for about 6 to 8 weeks, and it becomes hard. The second hardest part of the skull is if you had horns right back here, here and here. So you take the ear, let's just so you go up from the ear and go back about 1 inch right here. Imagine that with horn. That's the second hardest part of the person's skull. So after I do a straight headbutt, you form a horseshoe shape. I think he's taught you guys this. You get a little horseshoe motion this way, boom, back in with what we call an inside headbutt. That stuff will work at any range. Got it? There's other headbutts, but that's all we really work on.
Headbutts can be dangerous if you go skull to skull and hit wrong, you're punching yourself.
Nah,
He's focused.
no, man. I used to take a big heavy swinging bag like this to work our neck and swing it. When it started to come out, we used to run, jump through that bone, hit it right ahead. And then we also to strengthen our necks. I make my guys build their necks up for choke holds. Most martial artists don't. They got the big puffy arms, the big boobs, but they have weak necks. When your head sits on your neck, the stronger your neck, the harder the punch you can take. Now, I can't recommend this for everybody. God made me for fighting. See, I got no neck. I got a real thick back, big hands, so I was kind of made for fighting. Wish you made me for something else.
No, it's
No, I don't have a girlfriend or nothing now, so I always think about what I don't have, and you guys are thinking about what I've got. I make my guys do push-ups on their chin. So here, you just come up, just kind of hold it. And we used to make them come up on the boxing team, used to make them come up, hold it, coach would count to 20. 1, 2, and just gives you a real nice strong neck. that shot, pow, you learn to pinpoint the target. I mean, first of all, come here.
Sir.
How am I going to miss a headbutt this close? What do you mean miss? Hit something wrong. See, so your hairline goes from here all the way around. And that's the curved part of your skull. If you look at an x-ray, some people, that part of the skull is more than a quarter of an inch thick.
If you hit, he dips down, you hit, front to front, you're gonna get just as injured as he is. Unless you're hitting soft face.
You want him to dip down. See? Because after I knee him, boom, I'm going to hold his head to make sure. You see what I'm doing? So, I don't think he's going to dip down as fast as you get him from the head, but from here.
So
He
when you
does,
give it,
you got somebody that's going to kick your butt anyway.
so when you give a headbutt, where's the target area that you're trying to hit in at?
I like to cut. I want to cut the face. Stay away from this part of the head up. It's too hard. The head is too hard up here, from here up. Any part of the face. You want to aim at the nose. No man alive has a strong nose. You break that nose, whatever blood you see coming out here, 2/3 more is going down the throat, and you can choke them to death on their own blood. Okay. You up with me? But just any direction you hit that nose, you can bust it. Noses are easy to break. Even guys that have the flat noses, you still break them. And the guys that got those cauliflower ears, you can still make them cry by grabbing the ear. Guys had noses broken before. They say that your bones get stronger when they heal. But the nose is not bones, it's cartilage, you know. So it actually gets weaker the more you break it. You up with me? Does that help a little bit what I'm saying? I don't like teaching that kind of stuff, but I'm good at it. I work with a lot of my guys do mercenary work, and one of my guys teaches at the FBI Academy. I got another one who works right around here at where the Navy SEALs have their thing. So they come back and say that our stuff is the best of anything they've ever seen. So we just mix in the dirty stuff behind the grapple and what have you. Yes,
So
ma'am.
can they say why?
Walt Lysak is a kid of mine down at Ludlow, which is not far from here, it's near Springfield. He worked with the Navy SEALs, and he did a 3-week course there, and he said about the Gracies and everybody else that's coming there, his stuff is by far the most superior. And then I've got this Israeli commando, Mike Lee Canary, and every time something goes, he goes over there and trains the commandos in Israel. He works with the FBI Academy in Quantico, and also the one down in Miami, the police with the guns and the knife tactics. But a lot of my guys don't like the Israeli commando knife stuff, because their knife stuff, they don't do the circular stuff like the Filipinos go. I've got a blade. This is a positive cycle coming towards you. Then when I come back to figure 8, see the blade's coming back toward you. So all this motion is negative. So some of the Israelis don't like that C-lot Filipino type stuff. They usually block and go straight for the neck. They don't come back and then go back in. I'm not into knives. I'm not into guns. I don't own a knife or a gun. I got guys give them to me all the time. I just give them to my son. I don't like motorcycles, knives, guns. You know, you give me a woman, you guys can have the rest. It's just stuff that hurts people or makes noise. Lawnmowers, helicopters, dipsy dumpsters. I mean the garbage trucks.
So did they say why specifically?
Pardon me?
Did they say specifically what in your training is it? Did they say that they
The mixture, the cross training. See, it's not like I can take you down with a judo throw or pin you with a jujitsu move. See,
Yeah.
once I get you on the ground, it's the biting the elbows, the cutting. Like bleeding is not taught. Face right here.
Sir.
If I want to cut this guy's face, that's not going to cut you. See, if I block something with his hand, I can come back with the finger edges, slice the top of the eye. See, boom, they teach you how to cut people. Okay? All right, if I'm doing, if I'm coming in to set something up, boom, the neck coming in this way to set up a figure ass in the face. And most styles don't teach bleeding techniques. How do you cut a person up? Because most people, when they see their blood, they stop. But we're always trying to teach you how to submit or to knock them out. But bleeding is kind of a lost art. I think that stuff still exists in Okinawa. You can go to some schools.
Some of the schools have the
Yeah. So we add all that in. We just go back and do the research and find out what was lost and add it in. It's just like Muay Thai fighting. There's 9 ways of knocking somebody out with a knee strike. The Thai fighters, if I drop knees, once a guy hits the ground, I drop on top of your knee. They don't allow drop knees anymore. Parallel knees. A parallel knee is I spin the guy to the side and I hit right at the back. You got this gluteus medius muscle right here. In here you got a little nerve center right in there. Okay. Now farewell knee is you bring the knee up this way and it's like saying farewell. You bring the knee back across that way and pop that little nerve. That's not taught in Thai fighting. That comes from the Burmese. So you go around and you find what got lost. It's just like when I was showing you here the sparring. What I see most schools and sparring is they're always teaching what the last guy taught. They're always teaching what the eye sees. I try to look for, I always try to see for what the guy is not doing or what is not taught. And it kind of makes it unpredictable and it's a little more fun. It's just like most guys when they throw knee strikes. They'll grab this way, you know. They're teaching in school. When you got boxing gloves on, you can't do that, right? So they teach you the palm this way, hook one back, and bring it this way. Because what I want to do is get his head down. See, once your head's down, you can't get your head back up. Because I'm just going to hang like a wet rag. See, you want to slide out and bring your knee right to the side leg or straight up the middle. But the best way is just straight up. So you got a rising knee, a straight knee, a drop knee, a farewell knee, a jump knee, an inside out knee, a lunging knee. So there's 9 different knees, and most styles only teach 1 or 2. They'll teach a straight knee or an inside knee, and we show them all. So it's just a more complete system. But the main thing in our system, if you get the book. If I have to put these heavy books back on that airplane, pay the extra weight, I'm gonna blame you. Just go to the back of the book. I have a website. I have an elite private lesson. It's a subscription that you can subscribe to this kind of elite stuff that I'm teaching. And I know it's elite because I know no one teaches it. See, I've been to camps all over my life. I've been a black belt 41 years, and I know what the guys are doing. And I just go, well, okay. I like to help people out, but rather than showing you a bunch of stuff, I like the question the gentleman asked at the beginning. Well, I got stocky legs, so don't be showing me how to do a high kick. I like to specialize and say, I think you should be like an elbow headbutt guy. I think you would be better fighting off the left side here than learning to come off the right side, see? And you just discover that. Or I'll see a guy throws a right hook to the heart. My style, we like to step over, we like to turn the palm down at pronated position. This is about 80% of the fighters punch this way, boom, down. See the elbows higher than up? A lot of people like to keep the thumb up, boom. I'll see Mike Tyson, he punches the palm up. So there's different styles. So I'll say, I think you should learn to punch with your palm up, supinated. I think you should learn to punch with the palm down. So you got to see the difference in people's bodies. Follow me? Personally, I'm a body hunter because I've seen anybody can knock you out here. I've seen very few people drop people here. So I love to get inside and go for the liver of the heart. That's just my favorite. And the hardest punch of all to drop somebody is the heart punch. Do you go straight for the heart, drop it in, or do you rip it in this way? Boom. Not many people can answer that question because they don't know how to set the heart punch. Where do I hit him first before I pop the heart to make him drop? Because I've seen guys come in and hit him in the head. The guy's against the ropes, ready to go. Drops down, hits him in the gut, wakes him back up. I said, who taught you that stuff? But you don't know because in the karate school, whoa, I'm going to go high. Whoa, no, come back low. Well, I'm going to go high low. Well, I'm going to go high. Ooh, look at all the stuff I know. Well, why is that funny? You guys laughing at me all morning this morning, okay? I'm in a bad mood now. Now, did that kind of help your thing a little bit? You know, just find out. It still goes back to the zone thing. You say, well, you know, I don't know that much about elbows. You know, I don't want all those elbow strikes you talk about, but maybe a crossing elbow, see, maybe a dropping elbow, or, you know, reverse elbow or spin. You know, just get maybe one down. And I like the crossing elbow. And one way you could do it in your self-defense classes, I'll show you. Guys, I didn't get ranked in Weight-Jitsu, but I went to the school a few times. They had real good fighters in Okinawa. If a guy's got me in a simple chokehold, see, I see him do this stuff, and I'll go grab, down, back to the face. See, I see this stuff, you know, right the face, going back up. You know, there's all kinds of little drills. I see them go to the arm bar from here. But one of my favorites using elbows, grab. Just grab the wrist this way. Is that what you're doing? And boom, look where the jaw comes. Boom, boom. 2 elbows. Nothing better than that. That's it, nice and tight, follow me. Anyone ever seen that particular one? 1, 2? No? Seriously? No, seriously?
Seriously?
Let's see how simple. You've seen it. Well, you've seen everything. God knows. I've been to Okinawa. I've been to Naha. I've been to Hiroku, man. And I'm going back. Because I can't stay in New Jersey. Nobody can stay in New Jersey, Sparky. Come to live in America, don't go to Jersey. That's where we send all the European immigrants. Come on. Call me next time. Gee. He's going, he promised me, guys, look, he gave me his word. He goes to Okinawa, he's going to help me find all my ex-girlfriend. No, my former instructor, he's going to be my interpreter over there, right? I did good. Now, I forgot all that stuff you had me memorize this morning, but I had it down right at the beginning. All right, next question, guys. How we doing? How we doing? Wait, is this stuff interesting or what? Am I on the wrong track? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. I don't think you need to get up and practice. I think visually you should be able to learn anything I'm showing you that's off the wall, okay? Is that okay, you guys? So, who else had another question? Somebody else. That I do good. What do you got to get? What, an A? A minus? What do you give me on that answer?
I ain't gonna think about it.
One of those George Manson answers. Oh, I got to think about it. Yes, sir.
Joe, I have a question for you. Since your last 40 years,
Yeah.
just 100 words or less, what do you think about the progression of the martial arts worldwide in the United States?
Or less. He said or less, right? Right? It's like Rob asking me about. Not very much. Why? I don't really think about it. I get asked those kinds of questions. There are a little few things I don't like, and some things I like. The fact that back in the late 50s, early 60s, the instructors, the masters, are the only ones got all the PR. If you want to be on the cover of Black Belt magazine, which started in 1964, you had to be an instructor, preferably an Asian instructor. In 1967, September 1967, I became the first fighter to ever get on the cover of that magazine. They broke the trend. Then all of a sudden, the tide changed. The fighters became the ones who got all the notoriety. See, they never made any money, but they got all the notoriety. And you notice today, a lot of the older, like the Robert Triases, the Ed Parkers, a lot of the older guys who ran this country, they're gone. See, and so I like the idea that the younger generation's kind of taken over. My favorite martial artist is a young black belt who can't wait to get out of his school and open up his own school. That's my very favorite guy because he's in shape, he's eager, and he's ambitious. See, and he's full of questions. And he can take time out for a hard workout. He can take time out to go in competition and prove himself. That's kind of like my favorite guy. I never wanted to be a teacher. I never wanted to be a fighter. Again, all I ever wanted to do is I wanted a place to go down every night and work out with the guys and spar. I didn't drink, so I didn't go out partying after those guys went drinking. I went chasing women. But that was the thing that I wanted. I had to fight every day. I had to fight. And I always wanted somebody who could push me, who wouldn't quit, so I could go for like 30 minutes straight without stopping. That was what I wanted. And I kind of came to this country. I started looking for sparring partners, and it's kind of disappointing that I couldn't really find them. I went to Mike Stone first because he was like the big guy, but he only wanted to spar for real. Then I went to the JKA because they always say, well, we're the most supreme. Yeah, you're the most arrogant, but I don't think you're the greatest, And then Chuck Norris, 1965 December, he asked me to come down to his school, and he was the first guy that said, come on down, I'll spar you. So that was kind of nice. But I've missed all that. That's what I really like, that camaraderie kind of thing, And to be able to say, no, you came from a good school. When somebody says, well, what style are you or what school you're from, and with real pride say, that's my school. Because I think the greatest attribute of any martial arts, and I think it's something we've lost over is dignity. We don't dignify our efforts. We don't dignify the struggles and the trials that we went through. So we don't dignify our training, follow me? And when you start losing that dignity, it kind of strips you of what it means to be a black belt, what it means to be a member of this school, what it means to be a martial artist. Does that make sense? So I think the main word is dignity. If we could bring that back to the martial arts, follow me, where people could look at teaching martial arts as a profession, not as a job. Okay, like the difference between a college and universities. Universities, you learn a profession. All right? College, you just learn a craft. I don't know if you knew that or not, but so the same thing. I would like martial arts to look at it like it's a university, and we're not just learning a craft. We're learning a profession. That would bring a little more dignity back to us. See, then the older guys, whether they can work out or not, they feel proud to put that gi back on and come sit with the kids. Does that make sense? I'd like to see that come back. And if it came back, I don't think you'd see 99 out of every people that make black belt quitting. Because that's about the percentage. I would say 99 out of every 100 black belts, sooner or later they're going to quit. I can't stand a quitter. See, why get out of shape? I'm 60 years old, just as tough as I ever was. Why lose it? You train so hard to make that black belt. You train so hard to get that good, then you throw it down the toilet. Why? What was the meaning of all that hard work? You understand what I'm saying? I wish if you dignify more, I don't think people would lose that. Does that make sense? But that's me. I can't speak for you guys. Yes, sir.
What's your best for you? You happen on a mugging. You're behind these guys. All you have to do is come move in and help.
Say that again, Neil.
What you wander in on a mugging. You're coming down the street and you see the muggers have a back street.
Yeah.
You got a free shot.
Yeah.
Mugger or muggers. What's your best?
What's my best
Your
what?
best free shot.
Best free shot?
Yeah, if somebody's back is.
Oh, if I'm gonna hit somebody from behind?
Yeah, you want to put him down. He's mugging somebody else, and you just
I usually go for
before you find out that he's a
First
cop.
of all, I don't always think I gotta save somebody's life. I've seen some little bitty scrawny women. I'm not saying she's scrawny, but I've seen some big men beat the hell out of little women like that. See, and they survive with very few broken bones. You may have lost tooth, cut. We don't have any idea how tough the body really is. Or don't hurt him. You ever watch a baby fall? The baby never falls backwards. Which way do babies fall? Always fall forward. Why? That's Mother Nature's way of protecting them. Because they fall on the face. This face is tougher than the back of the head. Right? So I don't think we give our bodies enough credit for how tough we really are. What part of the body can't heal itself? Get a contusion in the brain, that's about it. How hard it is to put a contusion in somebody's brain. But anything else, you can basically patch it up, it heals itself. You follow me? I mean, we've been here since cavemen without doctors and hospitals and emergency service, okay? And we're still multiplying, so we must have done something right for a few hundred years, unless you're an evolutionist and you believe it's only been 12,000, well, whichever is the right formula. So, I got some real religious black belts with me, and they keep sending me these evolution tapes, and Joe, when are you going to believe the Grand Canyon was created with a flood? It didn't happen over millions and millions and millions of years. And we didn't come from an ape. I don't know. Vegetarians say, look at our teeth. We're grain eaters. We're not meat eaters. And then the scientists say we've been eating red meat for hundreds of thousands of years. There's nothing wrong with eating red meat. Then I say, well, how are you going to vitamin B12 if you don't eat red meat? Answer that question for us, Joe. There's all kinds of arguments. Basically, a free shot. If I want to kind of stop the guy, any type of pop in the rib cage here is going to make him boom. Got me? And if I touch some part of his shoulder, he's already down. I'm ready to take him for a chokehold. That's just a little thumb. Just pull the shoulder back. Got me? Now that will stop the incident. And that's basic. All you got to. Now I can go for a chokehold or whatever. Okay. Usually I like to hook the eye socket, see, to lift the head up to go for the choke. I love chokes, but I don't choke them here. I always set them down. See? And so I don't choke with the arms. It's always with the back. See? Always with the back when they choke, so the arms stay relaxed. That's what I prefer to do. All right, but if I'm going for the free shot, it's going to be an elbow straight at the base of the skull. Boom, right there. And you won't go down. I've seen people take two fingers and hit that nerve and put people in a sleep. I can't do it, but I've seen it done. I don't think you'd do it to me, so I wouldn't try to do it to somebody else. Got me? But you could do something simple like that if you want to stop them real fast. Why are you asking me a question like that for?
I could actually, for example, with all the light stuff, people getting out in the aisles and going,
Plain stuff? Yeah.
Prepared stuff,
Yeah.
but even just simple.
I usually like to choke. I prefer to choke myself because I've choked out maybe 5 guys for real in real life, and 3 of them went unconscious before I got the choke on. Because when I go for the choke, basically you do just some little. I pull the elbow forward and I push the other shoulder back. See which spins him. See he's in a slight spin as I take a quarter turn here, quarter turn down, halfway behind. Then as soon as I spin, this arm comes right across that brachial plate. Pow! He's unconscious right there. Pow! So I usually slap that thing in there real hard. And there's hundreds of nerves which come off your face and go down the side of your neck. See, it's not just a brachial plexus, there's a carotid sinus. There's not that one nerve. Anywhere you hit somebody on the neck, he's going to go unconscious. Got me? Play it by ear. Personally, I always feel safe when I grab clothing. See, because if I try to grab the arm, the body, like we learned in karate, it's just like from behind I grab the clothing. If I'm in front, I'm going to grab the clothing. See, and when I pull that clothing, I got total control of it. See.
Right, it's true. When you grab his clothing, he's going to turn around to you, and as your elbow is coming behind your other.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, I've seen so many black belts punch people in street fights. I've seen so many black belts kick people in street fights. And when they hit the guy goes, "Oh, karate guy," take him right to the ground. So, who knows? You know what I mean? It's embarrassing, but I've seen it happen. You know, I'm not talking about flunky black belts. I've seen champion black belts hit guys in street fights, and the other guy that got kicked or punched took the black belt to the ground. I'm not going to give you names, but I've seen it happen more than once. I never happened because I don't do street fights. I say I think all wars start when parents start hitting kids. When you hit a kid, 2 things. I think you're teaching kids. Number 1, you condone violence, and number 2, you're teaching kids. This is how adults solve problems. We solve it with violence. So I don't believe in hitting people. My body is my temple. You don't put your hands on me, and I promise you, I'll never put my hands on you. If people could just live by that golden rule, it'd be a nice world. I know it's utopia is never real, but I've always lived that way. I never touch people. I don't go in street fights, and people say, "Well, how come you never got in a street fight?" There's 2 things that get you in street fights. When guys go out together, I always went out with women, so that was rule number 1. And when guys drink, and I don't drink. See, 90% of all crap happen for those 2 reasons. Guys getting together and guys drinking. If you break those, get away from those 2. That's just the way I do it. Think about what I just said, though. You're laughing at me for it. You laugh at me one more time. I'm laughing with you. But, you see how much bigger I am than you? Hey, look at that foot. You think you can run fast with that foot? All right. Yes, sir. One more question.
No,
What?
there's over the last few
Hey,
years.
guys, don't you go tell Mr. Matson this is a goof off session now. Are you still awake? Okay.
Can you talk real quick about diet and how it relates to exercise and your way of life?
Diet?
What do you try to stay away from?
Balance.
Stay
Everything
healthy.
starts with balance. And for example, I can't put lemon ring pie in my mouth. I get sick. Okay. I don't like beets. I hate the smell of taste of onions. You know. And it's like again when these girls from the Eastern Bloc country kiss you, you get garlic in your mouth. It's like just certain things my body doesn't like. And I just say, I don't like it, I don't touch it, you know. That's healthy when I find something else just as good, follow me? One of my black belts, Ray Klingberg's in there with that body scanner, you know, you can scan your body and kind of check out. It'll tell you, give you a computer printout, what your body needs. It'll tell you how strong your immune system is. Your immune system is directly proportionate to how healthy you are, how long you're going to live, and what your ability to fend off disease or diabetes or what have you, okay? So if you do that correct carotid scan, see what's in your fatty tissue, because fatty just lodges in your hand or in this part of your body or right underneath the navel. You can measure that and it kind of tell you. It's kind of something neat. I've been taking supplements since I was 14 years old. Every once in a while I'll go for 1 month, I won't touch it just to kind of make sure my body doesn't get dependent on shut down, what have you. I did steroids one time, 1968. Some bodybuilders said, "Look, Joe," and they took me down to the blood bank, and they did a blood test, and they said, look at here, how the what is the bad burn thing that increases your energy? How much? Like, I don't know. No, the sugar. Glucose level in your blood, okay? And he said, look, so how the glucose level goes up when you go on the steroids. They were taking Dynabol, testosterone, and Maxabolin, which were the three big ones then. And now today it's like, it's a whole drug ban. Anything you buy at the pharmacy, anything, after all pharmaceuticals are 100% toxic. If you say, well, I take herbs, I don't give a damn, Brent. 60% of all herbs are toxic. See, that's just recent research. People think all herbs are healthy. Nonsense, okay? So I would say test your blood, test your skin, test your hair, and find out what your body needs, what you don't need. I can't imagine anyone not being on supplements. It just befools me. I take creams on my eyes since I was 18 years old. I'm 6 years old. I don't have gray hair. I don't have wrinkles here. No fat there. So I must be doing something right. I usually tell people your largest organ is your skin. You can look at somebody's skin and tell how healthy you are. But I'm into bones. I inherited healthy bones. But your bone is your skeleton. When your bones go, your body is finished. So I always say make sure you keep that calcium and so forth in your bone, and keep that bone mineral density going, right, by doing some kind of resistance training. If it's just push-ups or plyometrics, I can't imagine any martial artist not doing some type of weight training. I don't understand why people don't do it. Because it's the fastest way, the best way to shape your body and to improve your metabolism. You got me? So that's just sort of my recommendation. I have some other secrets, but I'm not going to let them out because I got another book I want to do down the road. But I think I did something right. It's a lot of it's genetics. I'm sure it's 97% genes, but the other 3% is the secret stuff. I think it's very, very, very important. And you can't beat a good diet, the balanced diet, the right amount of sleep, the right woman, all this good stuff, and the right amount of training. And too many people don't eat the right food, don't get the right amount of sleep. Now, I'll say one of my things that I do is learn to achieve silence in the mind. People call it peace of mind. Most people go to bed at night, they lay in bed, and the mind's going like, I've learned to put my mind to sleep. I used to do that in school a lot. But I think that's a secret, and I'm not into meditation, but it's a form of self-meditation, a form of self-hypnosis, whatever you want to call it, hitting that alpha zone, blah, 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 and just learning to achieve that inner silence in the mind. I think that has a lot to do with getting rid of the stress in the body, which brings on, I think, 90% of all the diseases. Does that make sense? And I'm not going to tell you how to do it, but I think the people who are doing something like that, now we used to in Okinawa, we used to get on a hard concrete floor on our knees and balls feet and sing those songs, and I'd sit there, God knows, man. And then we'd have to meditate, and I'd thinking, boy, I've never heard this word, meditate. And we'd sit there and meditate. And so I asked him, how do you meditate? And one of the guys that spoke English said, you think about things like speed, blah, blah. Well, that's the worst thing in the world you do if you're trying to meditate. You think about something, don't conceptually think. To learn to achieve silence, the mind only works one of two ways. You see picture images or you think in word concepts. That's it. Even on the abstract level, when you go into the abstract plane where you start thinking in principles, you're still thinking in concept level. So if you can learn to free the mind of the concepts and free the minds of any picture images, and if you guys learn how to teach real sparring, that's that zone, that zen level you take just as you squeeze the trigger to attack somebody. You got to learn to hit that zone, that mark. And when you do, your opponent won't see you coming. Does that make sense? So there's a combination between, there's things that work for the diet and health and so forth, which actually carry over into the fight. That help a little bit what I'm saying? Good, I just made that. Now some of that stuff, I talk a little bit about that, the implicit level of consciousness, what does that mean? How to hit that zone. I speak about it a little bit above, but not too extreme because only about 10% of martial artists are interested in it. So you got to watch what you say. It's like nutrients and weight training. Martial artists go, what? Where does this guy come from? I think eventually the best dojos in the world are going to have supplements for sale, and half the gym is going to be kind of a resistance training facility, and the other half is going to be like doing, you know, the grappling, you know, the upright stuff. I think that's the martial arts center of the future. And one reason why I said, if you look at the URSA certificate, URSA, which is the largest chain of health clubs in the world, the demographics, 38 million people in this country are active members of health clubs. I bet you there's not more than 5 million active members of karate schools in this nation. So that means in every city you go to, for every 10 people who do something in the fitness industry, one's going to go to a karate school and the other 9 are going to go to a health club. Why? The richest demographic group in the history of this country is right now from 45 to 57-year-old, that age range. There's 72 million of them. All right, and they control over 50% and up to 70% of the wealth in this country. A lot of it has to do because of all these new inheritance taxes. Where do the people between 45 and 57 go when they get off work? They don't go to no kickboxing gym or karate school. See, I know they do some internet stuff, and I know they like to go have a beer, and I know like they go with girlfriend before they get home and all that stuff. But how do you get those guys back into the karate schools? Does that make sense? And I think if we program ourselves, bring the dignity back into martial arts and get into the health thing again, follow me, I think we're still a little bit more of that rather than the guys going to the local bar or going to get on the internet or going to drink beer or something. Does that make sense? Because why give up, you know? You know, why give up? Why stop? See, that means all that effort you did and all that training had no lasting meaning. Follow me? I don't know. How am I doing on time?
You're done. You had.
Done? That's it?
Yeah, you got 10 left, Joe.
Okay.
I'll take one.
Where's Mr. Messer? He'll give you one of these books for
25.
25. So they're cheaper out here in class.
Yeah.
So that means if you took part of my class, you get one from him for 25. Otherwise, you go in there and get it for 30. Hey folks, thank you very much. Listen up. I got another camp I got to go to tomorrow. So if you want to ask me a question, get a picture, or whatever, catch me before I leave tomorrow morning. Is that okay, right? Again, thank you guys very, very, very much. It's more fun just listening to me run my mouth than doing those drills in the sun, isn't it?